All right, it's the end of May, and so you know what that means. It's another logging video. This is the Red Riot Robot bringing you Logging May. May was a very busy month for me. I got a lot of games finished this month, and so let's just get straight into it. The first game that I finished is American Fugitive. This is a GTA style top-down game. The reason I played this is I'll be bringing up its sequel, The Precinct, or spiritual sequel, The Precinct, later. But as far as GTA likes, especially old school GTA likes, this is solid. I would say a lot of the missions are very short and don't require a lot. It becomes a very repetitive game, and it's not the best in that regard. I do like the home break-in mechanics because it's very unique. Otherwise, it's a pretty bog standard top-down shooter crime thing. After that, I got and I played and finished Captain Blood, the game that was originally supposed to come out in 2006 or something, that was very obviously a ripoff of God of War. It's exactly what you think it is if you've played a PS2 action game inspired by God of War. You can get stun locked into a corner. The game feels kind of weird to play. The game tries to do juggling, it doesn't work. But I kind of enjoy this. You don't get these sort of PS2, Xbox style beat 'em ups anymore. And despite it having all of the issues of that old school game feel, I enjoyed it. If you want something that feels like from that era and genuinely is like that, I do recommend this game. But it comes with all of the problems that come with this type of game. After that, I played AI, The Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative. This is the sequel to AI, The Somnium Files. This is basically a visual novel puzzle detective game. You enter the dreams of people that you're investigating to solve puzzles inside their head to discover what's going on. There's not a lot else to say. If you liked the first game, you bought this game. That's how I bought this game. I would just try the original game, which now has a base price of $20 on Steam at least. I don't know about PlayStation. So if that type of thing interests you, check it out. Next, the biggest game release of the month, and that is Doom: The Dark Ages. This game is a bit divisive. I kind of landed in the middle because some people really love this game and some people really hate it. I kind of like it. I think it has probably the most fun arsenal of the Doom reboot games, but the problem is you kind of end up defaulting to two specific weapons. And those weapons are fun to use, but you end up not wanting to use anything else because those are pretty good all-rounders. In my opinion, it is an overcorrection with the issues of Doom Eternal, where Doom Eternal got way too into the weeds of managing your ammo and everything else. This kind of just wants you to learn how to parry, and it's not even a hard parry. It's the most generous parry window you've ever had. The other thing I want to bring up is this game just tells me these guys want to make a Metroid Prime type game, which if that's the case, hey, you have Hexen. You can just make a Hexen game. I know it's not as big of an IP, but you could do that. I guarantee you some people will buy it and play it. I think you could make it work. Also, just a quick note, the dragon riding sucks because those segments are 15 to 30 minutes at a time, and they're just not fun. The mech unit, I can understand some people not liking it. It's just as brain dead as the dragon, but those only usually last about 5 to 10 minutes. So I kind of enjoyed the mech ones. The dragon ones just took way too long. After that, I played The Precinct, the spiritual sequel to American Fugitive. I say spiritual sequel. It's more of what if you were an actual cop in one of the old GTA games? You might think, oh, you mean LA Noire? No. This is about doing basic procedural stuff. You're not going to be investigating crime scenes. Well, you are. There's one mission you do. But you're going to be pulling people over for littering, searching them, checking their license, and checking their trunk. And sometimes they decide to resist and they'll drive away. and then the chase is on, and you have the ability to summon infinite amount of cruisers to help back you up. You can summon a helicopter, you can summon spike strips, you can do all this stuff. It's basically becoming the cop in a GTA game. If you ever wanted to experience that, I highly recommend this game. It is a bit buggy. Specifically, if you exit in the middle of a shift, it will not save anything, and that can cause some problems. I never had an issue where it locked me out of the story completely, but I have had some issues where it wouldn't let me finish a shift because I accidentally took a job at the last minute and then something messed up in the job. After that, I played Labyrinth of the Demon King. It was the indie game I was most looking forward to this month, and overall my feelings toward it are this was pretty good. A little shorter than I would like it to be, but I really like the atmosphere. I love fighting the enemies. I love that the enemies are all trying to beat the shit out of each other constantly. If you want a Kingsfield style game with some interesting enemies and enemy AI design, I recommend this. It's about a 6 to 8 hour game depending on how good you are, and that's if you don't know what you're doing. You could probably, on a second playthrough, I could probably get through this game in like 2 hours. After that, I played The Horror at High Road. This is that Eldritch horror resource management game. I kind of like this game at the start, but towards the end, you start getting into a point where you just end up doing the same things over and over again to get the same resources, and you're just hoping that whatever specific thing you're doing finally unlocks. I don't know if I can outright recommend it. The writing in this game is okay. Your mileage will highly depend on what you think of the resource management, and I would just recommend try the demo out, and if you really like the demo, then I would recommend buying it. Otherwise, I don't know. After that, the final game that I finished is Nitro Express. This is a side-scrolling shooter similar to like Contra and, well, a lot of arcade little shooters. You play as a girl who is part of a new Japanese police task force that is in charge of fighting what are called companions, which are these little robots, and you're the only task force allowed to fight them. And yeah, that's kind of it. The main story is like 10 missions long, and a lot of this kind of comes down to how the guns work. You have a lot of guns you can pick from and buy, but their stats kind of change a lot. Some guns that fire faster do less damage, but there's also the aspect of how much damage you do based on what position you're in, which is there are 4 positions. There's standing, crouched, moving, and then jumping. And depending on what gun you're using will determine the amount of bonus damage you do in that specific position. Standing is usually at 100%. Crouching usually gives you a big bonus. Jumping is a major negative to the damage. Sometimes it reduces the damage by half. Moving usually reduces it a little bit, but not as much as jumping, unless you're using a weapon like an SMG, where everything just does a baseline damage. So let's say you want to do a lot of damage and you know you're able to crouch a lot, you'll pick something like the heavy machine gun, which does like 180% damage when you're crouched, but you do 50% damage when you jump. And so a lot of this game is sort of figuring the ins and outs of your loadout and picking what's best to go into a mission with. Overall, I think this game was really good. The story is kind of there. It's not that amazing, but it's an excuse to have a game where you use guns to shoot a bunch of robots. And finally, the last game that I started and just started is Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. They just had a bit of a showcase. With that showcase, they put up a sale, and I was able to get Bolt Gun with the DLC for like $12. And so far, of the 3 levels I've played, I really enjoy this. I'll have more on this next month's logging. All right, on to the games that are coming out in June. The big thing coming out in June that isn't necessarily a game, but a bunch of games, is the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't have a lot to say about this. I don't really care about Nintendo. I haven't really cared about a lot of their game output in a while. If you're buying one, I hope you enjoy it. I probably won't be covering anything past this. I really just don't care about Nintendo. So on to the next thing, which is the games themselves that are coming out in June that I'm keeping an eye on, at least. Speaking of eye, Mind's Eye. I was interested in this, but a lot of previews just came out, and man, this is looking rough. It's looking really weird and sketchy too. Maybe I'll give it a chance later in the year, but this isn't looking good for this game. After that, Stellar Blade PC port is coming out. I said when this game ever came out for PC that I would play it, and here we are. I'm actually right now downloading the demo, so I'm gonna check that out. And yeah, I'll get back to you on whether I like it. I'm curious to see what all the hubbub was about. Was it worth being controversial, or was it just a game? I have a feeling it was just a game. After that, there's a game called Rematch. Rematch is the soccer game made by the Sifu devs, that Kung Fu filmic game that was really, really good. I don't care about soccer all that much, so this isn't for me, but I think any competition with like the FIFA games is always good. I also don't think they're called FIFA anymore because FIFA took away the license from EA. And then finally, the System Shock 2 remaster. This is not going to be as in-depth as the System Shock remake. It'll just be some up-resed textures and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I have played the original one. I'm kind of curious what Night Dive will do here. And yeah, for me, June's not as big as a month as May was, so I'll be using this to catch up. Also, June is a big month for content for me. I will be having another Steam Next Fest and possibly another big bit of content coming out. Hopefully everything pulls together. I'm not sure if it will, but I'm working on it. And yeah, that's Logging May. Thank you for watching as always. This is the Red Riot Robot, signing out.